gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Prematch, Muti, and today we're on episode 29. We've 29 episodes, guys. We're down there. We've going the distance, and we've got Darren back again for another episode. Darren, welcome. We appreciate you. You did well on Tuesday, so much so that the gaffer up there wearing a United shirt decided to make the call up and said you're back in the starting lineup. So congrats.
Thanks a lot, gaffer. Appreciate
Listen to you. Now the gaffer. I'm the gaffer. I didn't even know the gaffer. No. Yeah, it's always good to have new people on the show and different insights, and it's much appreciated. I think it shows the strength of Leeds United that we can have a Leeds United fan on the show. We wouldn't be trying to call like a West Brom fan, if there are any in South Africa.
West Brom, I don't know about that.
Are there any in South Africa? Do you think they are West Brom in South Africa?
That's a good question.
Few and far between, I reckon. I don't know. I've never met one before.
I know, Villa. I've met a Villa fan in South Africa.
I know a couple of Villa fans, but they're all older.
Villa fans.
Older guys.
Obviously, much older. Yeah. They remember the time that Villa won the European Cup.
Jeez, no, that's quite old. I know the ones that didn't see that happen. But I feel like that's a side segment. That's a side segment where it's like, let's go find the West Brom fan in South Africa and we just document that whole process. Wonga, welcome back, dude. You skipped out on Tuesday. Your side finally wins, and then you just decide to take a break on Tuesday. You're like, no, I'm going to celebrate this for 2-3 days, almost like an Indian celebration, like a wedding or something over a 7-day period. What's going on there?
Come on, I mean, look, we played Sheffield. We were supposed to win. We were supposed to win that game. It's good you won, happy about it, but those guys are bottom of the log. It doesn't get worse than that. The competition doesn't get worse than Sheffield. It doesn't. So...
Well, tonight's going to be a big one for Arsenal. But before we talk about European games, I think it's appropriate to kick off the Champions League recap. And I told you guys, I'm reading a headline right in front of me now saying Liverpool must focus on the Premier League top 4 battle after Champions League exit against Real Madrid. How dumb is that headline? Is that not obvious to everyone watching?
Yeah, man, it's obvious. Like, what else you need to focus on? Focus on next season? No, man, you need to focus on the top 4 because you can still be in the top 4.
No, I think the guy writing it was thinking maybe Jurgen Klopp's going to tell the players, no, you're allowed to go to Dubai for a warm weather holiday or something, come back next season, 7 games. Jeepers. I think Chelsea making it through to the next leg, they got £7 million alone just for winning this last tie. So why? Wow. So, I mean, why would you not focus on something like that? I mean, interesting. But Champions League football, guys, overall, feedback as to the turnout, the results, Chelsea making it through, PSG, Real Madrid, obviously, and the other one who's Man City, of course. I mean, I kind of like have blinkers towards all English clubs apart from Liverpool in the Champions League. What are your thoughts, gentlemen?
I think it's the teams that deserve to go through have gone through, just based on some of the first leg performances that they put in. I think most of these teams won the ties in the first leg. I started watching the Liverpool Madrid game. But then as soon as Dortmund scored their goal, I decided to watch that game. It was quite feisty. Bellingham, showing like that he's actually worth the hype. You can see why Birmingham retired his shirt number. He does at the age of 17, having your shirt retired. But he's one for the future definitely. And I think Dortmund is just, at the end of the day, I think it's just one of those where small mistakes cost them. That 50-50 handball that happened with Emre Can. Some say it's not a handball. I'm saying, why do you actually giving the ref a decision to make like that? And then PSG, I always thought they were going to go through. I think the first leg performance in itself, and then Lewandowski not playing, was huge. That was huge for Bayern. If Bayern had Lewandowski, I think they would have went through. But without but
there's more to that story. There's more to that story because Hans Flick, I think it's been announced that he's going to be the next German coach after Joachim Löw. So,
correct.
And apparently there's been a breakdown between him and obviously head management there. Players leaving, players not, because he was sour. Yeah, he was sour about Thiago leaving, amongst other players.
And sour about the fact that Coutinho and Perisic weren't replaced. Yes, they were loan signings, but they weren't replaced with people that he felt were the quality that they needed. You can't lose Thiago, lose Coutinho, and lose Perisic. These are all 3 world-class players. You know what I mean? and then now you're replacing them with what? Only replaced them with Douglas Costa,
Sane.
basically,
And Sane.
and Sane.
Yeah.
And then obviously Serge Gnabry, who's their second best attacker, who also got injured. Goretzka also couldn't make the second leg as well. So they missed a lot of players. They're going to lose more players this season. Boateng is leaving.
Yeah.
Alaba is leaving. So imagine, two more
Apparently
players.
Tottenham are looking into that one. Jerome Boateng.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he went back to England. Where is he from in Germany? I think he's from Schalke. So I guess it would either, but Schalke's going to get relegated anyway. So I don't think he'll go to any other German team. I think he'll probably go overseas. Tottenham, I don't know, man. Boateng is like what, 30, 31? Yeah, he can be a good signing, right? Do you think? What do you think?
I don't know. He's in his 30s, early 30s. I think it's just a desperation, to be honest. I think Tottenham are in a certain scenario where they're going to miss out on Europe. They're not going to make more money. Daniel Levy's got stadiums to pay off. And obviously Mourinho's salary and what the big elephant in the room, Gareth Bale, for doing nothing. So he's got a lot of wages to pay. So they're going to pick up whatever scraps they can find. And I think Mourinho's going to accept it. I don't know, Darren, what are your thoughts about the Champions League before I whip out my tissues and start crying about what happened yesterday?
No, fair enough. Unfortunately, I've still got that issue with Wonga. I can see you guys perfectly, but Wonga I can't see or hear, unfortunately. But
you're not missing out on much, Darren.
Anyway, so I watched the Liverpool game last night. I felt a bit Liverpool were unlucky. I think on another night, two or three of those chances may have gone in. Look, their defense is a bit shaky, which I know we'll get into it later. But I think I'm a bit positive with regards to that with Monday night's game. But yeah, I thought they were unlucky. But yeah, like Selo says, I think the best teams went through in the end out of the quarterfinal draws in the end.
Yeah.
Claudio, where's your tears, man?
My tears are coming. I'm going to let Wonga spill out because he's still on the high from the Sheffield win. So let the Arsenal boy enjoy his time.
There's no high. That was standard procedure, bro. That was like, how can I explain that? That was like getting into a shop, picking up what you wanted, paying and getting out. Standard procedure.
Formality.
Wow.
Yeah, it was supposed to happen. But it's good that they actually won. But for me, I think the games are all interesting. I had before the game. I mean, I felt that I think Dortmund would have had the fans been there. I mean, the way they tried to rile them up before, I think Dortmund would have had something there because the energy they put into the game. You could see when they scored the first goal, and even when they were stopped. I mean, I think there was a goal that was stopped off the line as well. They were even celebrating that. And I mean, if they had just that extra bit of the fans, I think Man City would have had a tougher job at hand. But I think, Man City did play well. I mean, geez, even with that intensity that Dortmund came, I mean, they played as if, I mean, nothing was really happening. I mean, that's what was very not surprising, but nice to see. I actually was watching the Madrid game, watching how they literally just controlled Liverpool. And then I switched over to...
What? Did you just say how they controlled Liverpool? You clearly weren't watching the same game. At which time did you switch over there? What,
guys,
2 minutes
they managed that game. They managed that game
They did
properly.
not manage that game. The difference was Liverpool didn't take their chances. Do not say Real Madrid managed. They managed shit. Please, had Liverpool taken the chances early on, that would have been a different game. They didn't take them. Salah could have scored 3 or 4. Come on, man. The managed game. This guy.
I saw on Twitter that Liverpool fans were complaining about the fact that Bobby Firmino missed a couple of chances, as per normal. People were saying if you guys had a better striker, it would have been a different result.
He looked flat. He looked flat. I won't lie to you. Bobby Firmino looked flat. Flat.
But you had to
it was quite sad to see. It was quite sad to see, to honestly watch him.
Yeah. Look, but he had to start because they made the mistake. They made the mistake last week, and that's where we lost. You said it, Cyril. That's where we lost the tie. That's where most teams lost the tie in this quarter-final round, was the first leg. They took the piss. They made 1 or 2 changes. They started Keita after not playing for 6-7 months. And then, I mean, last night, good intensity. What I liked about yesterday, despite the fact that it was a 0-0 draw in the end, was that there was some good old-fashioned tackles in there, like a proper good, hard, honest. James Milner came flying in the first couple of minutes. He's like, look, I'm here. Nothing dirty, just really hard. And then there was some retribution afterwards from Casemiro, which, I've got nothing wrong with that. I mean, it wasn't like a filthy tackle. It was just a nice hard one. He was a bit late, showing him, look, I'm still here. I enjoyed that part of the game as much as I could. But yeah, now it's a shit time for Liverpool. So it's crap too. And you asked the question, Selo, or someone, the Twitter admin asked the question, who do we think is going to win the Champions League now? That's the big question.
Yeah.
I don't care about the answer, but I'm curious to hear what you guys think.
I think City, City will win it. Yeah, I reckon.
No, I think PSG. I think PSG. There's just something about PSG this season. I don't know. Pochettino, yes. But there's just something. But Marquinhos needs to be ready to go for that semi-final, because obviously he went off injured in the first leg of the Bayern game. He's crucial for their defense, and then Variety's obviously just come back from COVID. He didn't play at all. So those two will be crucial to adding some impetus to already amazing front attack that they have. So I think PSG. But let me say this: the team that wins between PSG and Man City in the semi-final will win the final.
I'm taking it. Yeah.
Or win the final. That's the final before the final. That's for me. That's final before the final.
And how good was Neymar the other night?
Oh man, he just needed a goal. He just needed a goal.
Yeah.
He was in the mood. He was confident. He was just happy. He was just doing whatever he wanted on the field, and he just needed that goal just to cap off an amazing performance. That one where
you said something. You said something interesting there. He was in the mood. I think that's been my biggest issue with him throughout his whole career. It's when he's in the mood. Like, you don't know what you're going to get. Has he colored his hair this way or that way? Is that going to be a little bit of inspiration on the field? If he's not doing it, then I don't know. He's not the type of player I would like in my squad. But yeah.
And when he's not lying on the floor, to be fair, because he's always rolling around.
No, yeah, true. No, but there he he was just. I think he almost took it upon himself to make sure that he will be the main creator, for instance. He'll be the one trying to do stuff, trying to push them forward, because in the first leg, even though they won 3-2, Bayern had 15 shots at goal, and they had 4 or 5, whatever it was, and the second leg was a bit more balanced, and then they should have obviously, won that game, but obviously the 1-0 still got them through in the end.
Bonga, before you give us your opinion, Matthew Munger says, Darren, please don't stutter. So thank you very much for joining us, Matthew. We appreciate it. And we'll keep an eye on Darren and call him out. Give him any fun. Yeah. Bonga, what do you think? Champions League final. Who's making it there? What's going to happen? Tell me. Please actually tell them. Like I said, this is still
it's painful.
I think I agree with Selo. I think whoever wins it between PSG and Man City will end up taking it, unless Real Madrid pull up something really, really fantastic. But I mean, I think those are the two teams that are looking good. And watching what Silo was saying about Neymar, the thing about him as well is when he plays well, and when he does what he wants to do, he really gets up to people's skin. You can see it. It almost takes their focus off their game plans. Now they're trying to focus on him, and he always does that. They end up kicking him and what, and then they start choking him. But that's the nice thing about it. But yeah, it's unfortunate. Just like Claudio has mentioned, that it's not. You don't know when you're going to get it. But at Barcelona, to be fair, I mean, he was
always giving it at Barcelona. Yeah.
Yes, at Barcelona, when he was at Barcelona, it was every game. I mean, when they shut him out, they shut him out. But he was giving 100% every game. And always looking dangerous.
Not true. And the rumor is that Messi is making contact with him to say that he must come back. He's asking him to come back. Trying to convince him to come back. Because he's also got 1 year left in his contract, so we'll see what happens there. But PSG seem to think that he'll sign a new contract.
If Mbappe is leaving, why would he stay? Why would the man stay? That's the question. Right, guys, enough Champions League recap. We're going to move over to the other European games tonight. And the first one is the Europa League game, Man United versus Granada. Hopes and expectations, Silo, in terms of Man United. What do you think is going to happen here? I mean,
just close it out. Just close it out. That's all I got to say. Close close it out. We've already got two away goals. Close it out. Protect some legs. Protect Rashford's legs, please. That's the one player that we need to protect. 3 of our players are suspended. So Shaw, Maguire, and McTominay are all suspended because of the accumulation of yellow cards. So there'll be an opportunity for Twanzebe to play Teles, and then it'll be interesting to see who he decides picks in the midfield. Man United fans are hoping that Donny gets a start in the midfield, but knowing Solskjaer, man,
His clothes on.
man. he's his clothes on this time, yeah. But knowing Solskjaer, he won't. Knowing Solskjaer, he won't start him. He'll probably come off the bench, and then most likely Bruno will be the captain today. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But I just want him just to freshen things up, and when I mean freshen things up, I mean obviously not to completely change the lineup. Just give other people a chance to play in this game, even if it's to come on at halftime, for instance. If we get an early goal then to make it 3-0 on aggregate, then halftime bring on some guys who haven't played that much, so they can get some game time going to the Burnley game. So that's what I would like to see. Next round will probably be much much more tougher in terms of Roma or Ajax. Roma's got 2 away goals against Ajax, so I think we'll probably face Roma, and that'll be a much more trickier tie than Granada.
But I suppose, I don't know, do we want to ask, I mean, like Wonga's already said, he said it's standard procedure. It should be, anyway, for this game for United. So moving forward, we know the other game, this Slavia Prague versus Arsenal game. I mean, this is huge for Arsenal, technically, in the context, the greater scheme of things. They don't qualify for Europe. That's a lot of money lost. Then you got the question of, you need to make the squad stronger. You said trust the faith in Arteta, but he's not going to get the same resources or tools. You're going to have players looking over the shoulders. Will they stay? Will they go? Etc. Etc. You're going to lose Saka to stop being a development club and let a bigger club buy Saka. Hey, Darren, you like that one? A bigger club. Maybe a Leeds will come in for Saka. But yeah, so in terms of the context for tonight's game, Wonga, tell us, man. Shaka at left back again. What do you think?
Look, I think Arsenal will put ourselves in this situation. Now we have to go out, we have to do something in this game. We have to score. And I think, Arsenal we have what it takes to beat these guys comfortably even. Plug, yes, not an easy team to get past, but Arsenal, we've got the quality to beat them. But the question is the thing has been the whole season, you just don't know, and that's why we lie middle of the table. That's why we've been there for quite a while now, is because you don't know what you're going to get. You're going to get a good performance, you're going to get a bad performance, and most of the time when we're losing, it's not that we're losing when we're giving it 100%. We lose and it's a well-deserved loss. And I'm actually tired of it. There's only so much you can take now. And I just, even if Shaka's playing left back, if he's playing centre back, we have to do the job today. I don't think it matters where the guys are playing. The guys are fit. Our injury list is much shorter than what it was beginning of the season. I don't think there's more than 3 people that are injured, if I'm not mistaken. But we've pretty much got everyone. I think the only guy that we'd want to probably see is Odegaard, but I don't think he's fit for today. But yeah, Claudio, I'm going to say this is supposed to be standard procedure. Yeah, I'm supposed to say this is standard procedure. But even last leg, I thought we were going to actually probably win it, give it at least 2 or 3 goals. And we conceded late at the end. But hopefully the guys have learned from that, and we can only see today. We can only see when the match what happens today. Arsenal has no consistency, so I can't tell you what's going to happen today. But I can tell you that we definitely need to win. And also, and that thing of, I remember.
I feel like you just made the same statement I read here off the site here from Sky Sports. Liverpool have to focus on top 4. Arsenal have to win today. What is happening with Donny van der Beek? Oh, sorry, sorry.
But with Donny,
what is happening with?
No,
Donny van der Beek.
So while I was on my phone now, I was just checking the starting lineups. He's not starting. He's on the bench, as I predicted, because Solskjaer won't give him game time. And yeah, so that's him. But I think, man, it's one of those things where a coach has his targets, right? And the coach says, "Hey, can you guys buy these guys, buy these guys, buy these guys?" And then the club, for some reason, likes certain other players. and then they decide to sign Donny van de Beek. You know what I mean? He was available. Madrid decided not to sign him because of COVID, whatever, because initially they wanted to sign him. They decided not to sign him. And then we're like, hey, man, let's sign him. You know, Van der Sar's our old boy. Let's chat to him. He's like, cool, yes, guys, you can sign him, 35 million pounds. Cool, we sign him. But Solskjaer doesn't trust the man.
Yeah.
He doesn't trust the man, but also he's not using the man in the way that he's supposed to, because he's supposed to be using Donny van de Beek in a 4-3-3 rather, or as the midfielder that's sitting in a pivot. You know, he's trying to put him in the Bruno Fernandes role, but then Bruno Fernandes and him have different qualities. Donny van de Beek wants to play on 1-2. You know, you pass him the ball, he passes it back to you, he runs into space. Bruno Fernandes is going to try and make like a worldly pass. You know what I mean? That's not Donny van de Beek. Donny van de Beek is a quick movement. He'll be the guy making the run in the box, you know, getting on the end of crosses, you know, the 45 crosses, you know, type of thing. So that's the type of play he's so different to Bruno. But then now Solskjaer doesn't.
Also, that sort of player then doesn't really suit what United are currently doing.
Exactly.
Right?
So you see,
it's like it needs a systematic sort of side of the process.
Exactly.
I think Donny would have been a good signing for a team like Arsenal, because they went out and got Partey, who was a great signing, but they needed another midfielder to kind of replace Ozil. I know they've got Odegaard now on loan, but I feel like Donny would have been a better signing for Arsenal as opposed to Man United, I think, personally.
Yeah, no, true, man. He just. It's sad. It's sad, and I would like him to be given an opportunity to obviously prove himself. And it's just, you know, let's see what happens going into the new season. What happens if Pogba stays and so on. You know, surprisingly, Pogba's captain for tonight. I thought it was going to be Bruno, but it's Pogba. Pogba's the captain for tonight, with Maguire out.
Poggy balls. Right, Wonga. One more thing. What did you want to say before we change the topic to Donny?
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I was saying that, in terms of now Europe and its money that's bringing us, I think that's also another thing that could maybe hopefully motivate Arsenal, because now really it's in their hands, and the players, because if maybe it doesn't do the players that bad, because they can probably have the option of going other places, but if we don't make it and we don't get into Europe, then things like Odegaard, now does Odegaard stay? Or he can just go find a loan somewhere else.
Wonga, you got to let that go, because he's not gonna be there end of the season. He's gonna go back to Real, and if he does leave Real, it's gonna be another club signing him. He's not going back to Arsenal. Enjoy the time on the loss.
The truth is, they probably are looking to keep him. I mean, there's no ways you're not trying to keep him. But if that option goes out, if we're not making Europe,
but he won't stay. He won't stay, guys.
He won't even try.
If there's no Champions League, no European football, the guy won't stay, guys. He's a captain of captain of Norway. He wants to be playing like, you know, Champions League football. You know what I mean? Or at least Europa at a second as a second prize. If you can't offer him Champions League, give him Europa. But if you can't even offer him Europa, you need to forget.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm saying
Arsenal could win the Europa League, then they're in the Champions League.
Yes, but that's like Wonga says. It's a big game tonight. This is actually what I want to open up the can of worms here, Darren. You're in Arsenal. Okay, I suppose this might be a rhetorical sort of question now, but between United and Arsenal, and who's left in the competition, how do you think it's going to shake up? Because Europa, unless you're involved in Europa, no one really cares about it. So it's like one of those you watch over the side of over your shoulder. So what do you think is going to happen here, Darren?
No. So I agree with you in a sense that I don't think United are too worried about it, because, in my opinion, they're already qualified for Champions League. So if they win the cup, it's just another cup for them.
Not silverware. All he needs to prove his status.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, it's massive for Arsenal, because, like you say, at the moment, it doesn't even look like they're going to qualify for Europa. So they need to win it to be able to get European football. Otherwise, I fear for Arsenal even next season and seasons to come, to be fair. But I think it's more important. I think it's more important for Arsenal to win it in comparison to Man United. Just my opinion.
Typically, and I think it applies to the other bigger teams that are left. You know, Roma. It applies to Roma as well. Roma is not in the top 4 in Italy. If they win it, they'll get in Champions League. Villarreal as well.
Exactly.
If they're also not in top 4 in Spain, if they win it, they'll get in Champions League somehow. So I think Arsenal and those two other clubs, they have a bigger reason to win the Europa than Man United. Man United, we need to get into the final. Solskjaer needs to get over his semi-final hurdle. If he doesn't get over it, it will continue to haunt him and the club to say, hey man, you guys are always getting to semi-finals but never getting to the final. So he needs to get into the final at the least.
But
I
then
think
Settle, if he doesn't win, if he doesn't win, do you think his job is then? I mean, we know the song, we know the tune, Ole out. But do you think it puts more pressure, or do you think the board are going to stick with him regardless of what happens?
No, I think the second position is what gives him a contract. The second position in the log is what gives him a contract. Nothing else. Just the fact that he's going to finish second, I think that's what's going to give him a contract. Whether Europa he wins or not, I think that is something for the team to build on. Similar to what you guys did, Liverpool, where you guys got to the final against Sevilla and lost. It's the same situation, for Man United in this instance, where we should be getting into the final and then using that as a springboard for the following season to win something bigger. And when I say bigger, I mean Champions League and Premier League type. I was listening to an interview earlier on today. They had the Manchester United stand. The United stand had a Norwegian journalist, and he was talking about how when Solskjaer won the Norwegian league with Molde, which was their first ever league title, that was a springboard for Molde to dominate Norwegian football and win the Norwegian Cup and then the Norwegian league again. So any team needs that confidence boost. And the confidence boost is winning something, winning a trophy. So I think that'll be a confidence boost for the team as well as a whole. But he won't get fired if he doesn't win the Europa. He will never get fired. He'll get a contract.
Yeah, there's no risk.
Right, Wonga. Pums is saying he's got your back, by the way, saying Arsenal are going to win it, they'll find a way. So I don't know how much that means to you.
Guys, don't forget Slavia Prague knocked out Rangers and Leicester in the last 2 rounds. So they love British teams.
Yeah.
They knocked Leicester out properly.
KO knockout.
Now we'll find a way. We have to find a way. Let me put it like that. We have to find a way. Won't be easy, but we'll find a way. We have to find a way. It's a good thing we're not playing with fans in the stadium, because then I think it would have been double difficult for us. But
yeah, that's true. Trying to win in Slavia Prague there. Yeah, with fans in the crowd. All right, guys. FA Cup, huge semi-final for Chelsea and a Man City, who are at this moment in time still in every single competition, every single one that they've been competing in. Darren, I don't know. I want to ask you how you think this particular game is going to shake up. But do you think Man City has what it takes to win, I don't know, all 4 trophies? The question has shocked Darren.
It led him to freeze.
It's a good thing are you back, Darren? You back?
Claude.
Yeah.
Okay, you answer it.
Yeah. Sorry, I just I went out there.
Okay, did you hear my
I missed the
question?
question. I was out for a bit.
Man City, can they win 4 trophies this season?
I don't think so. I think it's a step too far. Hey, there I can see Wonga as well. Brilliant. Yeah, I think it's a step too far. And also, I think I said it in the stream on Tuesday. I don't necessarily want them to do it either, because I don't ever see another club doing it, to be honest. And I don't really want Man City to hold that title, if I'm being completely honest. But,
True. We don't want the oil money to be the one that does such things. You know what I mean? I think we want family clubs, Claudio. Yeah. Family clubs to do such things. You know what I mean? Family clubs, not oil money.
For the family clubs.
Not the corporate money. You know what I mean? I think, me from a Man United point of view, we've done the treble 1999. If they do this, it surpasses a treble. We can't gloat about anything to them. Obviously, we can gloat about the amount of titles we have, but this whole thing of saying that we're the only English club to do a treble, we can't say that to Man City anymore. But I do feel that either Jose, or Tuchel, or Poch will do the job over them, because the Premier League title is theirs already. But I feel that even if they do win, they are going to win more than one. That's for sure. But the question is, are they going to win 3 or 4? And I think that they are going to win 2 or 3. And I'm hoping that obviously the FA Cup is not one of them.
So
And
you'd
the
rather have
Champions
them
League.
win the Champions League and the
No,
Premier League?
I'm hoping the FA Cup and Champions League is the two that they don't win.
They
So
don't.
obviously Champions League is the one that I don't want them to win at all. They can win the FA Cup and the League Cup. I don't care about those two. But Champions League, man, come on now. You know, we've got what? We've got Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea, what's Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa, and that's it. The club is closed.
We lost in the final.
and West Ham lost in the final. I didn't know this. West Ham also lost in the final in 1977, I think. So yeah, the club is closed.
Real facts. Whipping out some real facts. Wonga, you seem fairly confident in what you were about to say before Darren ran away. What did you want to say?
Oh no. I was just saying that. Look, I think Man City, it's going to be a difficult one for Man City, even though we don't want them. I'm the same as Darren. I wouldn't want them to win all 4, but I think it would be difficult. The nice thing that they do have is that, like, the league for them is already done. You just have to. I mean, the remaining games, I think, are probably, you can say that they'll definitely win that. The season's been crazy, so you never know what could happen at the end there. But they take that, and then they've got. Look, Chelsea's a difficult one. And also now at least the Champions League, they've got a break before that one as well. Or do they start next week? I don't think so, right?
What, the Champions League? It's end of the month, like 27, 28.
Yeah. So it's a break before that
27, 28, yeah.
Yeah, so he's probably for this match now today. Not today. I mean, this match this week against Chelsea. He's got a chance of starting a strong squad against Tuchel's team. But for them to take all 3, I think somewhere along the line one is gonna go, at least one. But I wouldn't want them to hold the treble. They're not gonna. I mean, Man City holding the treble. No, I say 2.
Yeah, man.
Must take 2. I'm happy with 2.
Yeah, man. We can't have oil. The oil money.
No.
Guys, Dean Whittaker has finally joined us here. So say hello to Dean. Thank you very much. You missed a lot, actually. You missed Darren breaking up. He got very intimidated. We asked him a very big question, so he turned his camera off and now he's back to show his face. I don't know if he's still there, Darren. I see movement. He's still there. Yes.
I'm checking the run of games that Man City actually have. It's actually a lot of games. It's actually quite a busy schedule that they have. They've got Chelsea this weekend in the FA Cup. During the week they're playing Villa. Then they play Tottenham next weekend in the EFL Cup, the Carabao Cup final. Then they play PSG in the first leg. Okay, then they got Palace, which is a bit of a break, and then they got PSG second leg again, and then they got Chelsea in the league. Then they got Newcastle. Then they got Brighton, and they end off with Everton.
When you just said the 3 names, when you said Mourinho, you said Poch, and then you said Tuchel. When you say those 3 names, that's the competition they're facing. If they come out of that, then they're going to deserve
3 of their next 4 games is against those guys, and the other one obviously is against Villa. Yeah, and Villa's a team where if he does a similar thing where he tries to rest players like he did against Leeds, Villa's a team that can also take advantage. You know what I mean? Villa on their day can beat any team. You know what I mean? Liverpool knows, 7-1.
Villa's a one-man team, I'm afraid. They don't win without Grealish.
No, I think he should be back. He should be back, but he should be back by. He was supposed to be back this weekend, but there was something that happened with him. But I think
that comment bored him. That comment bored Darren. Even yawned. He was like, no. There's only one team here. They only got Grealish. Let's see. Chelsea's. What are Chelsea's prospects? Pumalani's saying, it's going to go to penalties. Chelsea, Tuchel, semi-finals. This guy, semi-finals of the Champions League, semi-finals of the FA Cup. He's come in halfway this season. Can this guy get a trophy, Tuchel? Can he do it?
Yeah, he can.
He can.
FA Cup, I can see Chelsea definitely winning. I can see Chelsea definitely winning, let's say, 1-0 this weekend against Man City, or winning 2-1, or going to penalties. I'm trying to think, but Edison. Okay, they'll have Stefan as goalkeeper. They'll have the American as keeper. I definitely can see them winning the FA Cup.
Sure.
To be fair,
Yeah,
with
man.
the squad that they have to be winning a cup. To be honest, with that squad, I mean, it'll be absolutely ludicrous if they don't win anything. But also, on the one hand, they did have a fraud as a manager for the first 6 months, so that didn't
The biggest fraud.
The biggest fraud. But yeah, you can tell I'm not much of a Lampard fan, but yeah, Tuchel's done a good job. Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think they can take the FA Cup.
So then, are you saying that they're going to win this weekend? Is that what everyone's saying here?
Look, and I think Chelsea have to win one, at least one,
No,
because the money spent.
I think they can. I think they've got the confidence, right? They've got the confidence, right?
True.
They've got the formation. He's got his settle, almost like a settle starting 11. So he's going to start with Pulisic, Mount, and Havertz up front. Kante and Kovacic in the midfield, and then the defense. It's going to be Thiago, Azpilicueta, and Rudiger. Right wing back, it's going to be either Hudson-Odoi or James. But I think in this game it'll probably be James, and then Chilwell on the left. You know what I mean? So I think he's almost settled on a lineup that I think that he's confident with, and he needs to play them more often now, especially because it's the critical end of the season where you can't really be experimenting. He experimented, but like the performance against Palace was just amazing, man. Like it was a Tuchel masterclass. Like teams where Tuchel's coached in the past, they would score 3 or 4 goals. But when he got to Chelsea, he was winning 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 2-1, 2-0.
Hey man, when you come into a side, the first thing you need to do is tighten up the leaky defense and then take it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so well played.
So he's done that, and now I think he's got a proper side, and I think he can definitely get one over City.
Just to answer Dean's question, he's saying give PSG a chance for the Champions League. And you missed it, Dean. You did say you came in late, but I think a lot of us here were saying that, PSG is the side that we're backing here in the end. So we agree with you on that one.
And I think the Twitter poll as well, so far, when I last checked it, was 40% were saying PSG. Let me just check it now quickly.
40%. The tweet streets have spoken.
So 45% were in favor of PSG, 21% in Madrid, 17% Man City, and 17% Chelsea.
Man City only gave in 17%.
No, but guys, don't forget, Man City don't have supporters.
PSG.
They don't have supporters. So
but they like it like that.
True.
That makes them stronger.
So everyone else probably voting for PSG supports Man United or supports Arsenal or supports Liverpool or supports another club that's not Man City or Chelsea. You know what I mean?
On that note, my brother and I were actually debating that the other day. Besides like younger kids, like guys more or less our age, who do you know that supports Man City? I don't know any Man City supporters.
Look, we've been looking for a Man City fan. I'm going to put that out there yet again.
I do know that there are people that are my age. I know about 4 people, right? But one of the people, he's a Barcelona supporter, and then he decided to have he decided to have an English team. And then obviously he decided on that, and then some other guy he's been supporting since Mancini days, which is not too bad. I can give that to him.
He missed Mark Hughes. He came in at the right time.
He came in Mancini days, and then another guy. I think some of them are former Arsenal fans. Most of these guys, so
What?
No, because
Arsenal fans are jumping ship.
Yeah, Arsenal jumped ship. You know what I mean? Arsenal guys jumped ship. Actually, I met a client of mine. Some new guy I met 2 days ago. He tells me that he used to be an Arsenal supporter, right? I'm like, cool, sharp, whatever. But he says he's a Man City supporter. And he said that when he was leaving Arsenal, he could see that, hey man, the future was bleak. And he said to his son, who's a Liverpool supporter, that, hey man, can I come support Liverpool with you now? And his son said no. And he's like, oh, okay, you're saying no, but if you had said yes, I was going to get you a season ticket to Anfield.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure he was. I'm sure he was. Nice one, Dad.
So
where
he
was my
says, yeah.
season ticket before?
So he says, hey, man, so since you said no to me, I'm going to go to Man City. And yeah, so he's a Man City supporter now.
Well, you can get us a season ticket so we can comment on the game. I wouldn't mind that. Work your magic there, Silo.
I'll try, man.
Okay. All right, guys. So we're going to talk Premier League now. Enough of the FA Cup. I know because the other games, Leicester, Southampton, we don't really care about that one. Hypothetically, quick, if we've got to say who's going to take that,
Leicester,
I mean, on paper, Leicester should take it. So
yeah.
Brendan Rodgers should have his final, and it's going to be an interesting one, whether or not he chokes, guys, because Silo loves proclaiming Brendan Rodgers is a choker.
Okay.
Right. Everton, Spurs. Ancelotti versus Mourinho, a disgruntled, but this hasn't been different over the last couple of years, but a disgruntled Mourinho. I mean, what's going on here, guys? What's going on here?
And they're poking at him in the press, eh? They are poking at him.
With the hitting that Facebook button, poke.
Yeah, they poking at him.
Oh, wow, bro. I forgot about that. Poke.
Hey, I poked you and you weren't too happy about it. Eh? Facebook.
I can see this game being a 1-1. I think it's going to be like very boring. Both teams play a more counter-attacking defensive game. I know Everton have done relatively well, but I don't really enjoy the football that they play. I know that's easy for me to say, but yeah, I'm not much of a fan of the football that they play. And Spurs as well. They're a very defensive-minded team. Let's make sure we don't lose first, and then we take it from there. And I think Everton's very similar in that regard. So 1-1, I reckon.
Wow, actually, Everton haven't won a game in their last 5 games. It includes an FA Cup game against City that they lost. But last 5 games, they've lost to Chelsea 2-0. They lost to Burnley. Then they lost to City in the FA Cup. Then they drew with Everton. They drew with Palace. And then they drew with Brighton. So it's been as Darren says, it's been quite boring for them in the league. Before that they had 3 consecutive wins. 1-0 against West Brom, 1-0 against Southampton, and 2-0 against Liverpool. So and I thought they could be actually challenging for the top 4. I don't know what happened. They're just falling away for some reason. And I think obviously even the goals have dried up for Calvert-Lewin. And Richarlison has actually taken over. He's been scoring some goals, having some confidence, but the team as a whole hasn't been really doing well. So I think, as Darren says, they do play a boring brand of football. And Spurs, I think the only thing with Spurs is that they've still got Harry Kane, who's trying to be the leading goal scorer. So yeah, a draw sounds good.
Yeah, for me, I just prefer Spurs losing, and then we win on the weekend. Go up. That's
a shocker. That's a shocker. Arsenal fan wanting Spurs to lose.
No,
wow.
but you Arsenal's 3 points behind Everton and 4 behind Spurs.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. We can close the gap.
No,
see, the thing is now
a draw is better. Wonga, draw is better.
I think. Oh, you mean Everton? I hear what you're saying. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because they're both touching distance.
True. But like you see now, the thing is Arsenal. Yes, even the other who did we play? I think it was games like Southampton. We lost to them. You see, like it's all creeping up now. Like just 2 of those games. I think I can't remember the other game where we played and we lost. I can't remember, but that's 6 points. And it would have been a different situation right now. I mean, had we won those games, and it's just that's the thing about Arsenal's season as well. So I'm just hoping that these 2, like Silas pointed out, if they draw, good days for me, and I think that's very, very highly likely. It's highly likely that these guys will draw. I agree with what you guys are saying.
Yeah, I think both teams have a goal in them, and both of them have a leaky defense. But apart from that, both managers like them to be structured, especially when they're taking on bigger sides, so to speak. And in this case, I say bigger sides because it's 2 big managers who respect each other. So I would assume that they're not going to go Bielsa vibes. They're going to be tightly packing that back and taking it from there. Gentlemen, Newcastle, West Ham.
Ooh.
It's a big one for the Toon, and obviously for West Ham as well, for top 4 aspirations.
I think that's exactly what's gonna. I think this game will be who's motivated more, the guys who are trying to survive, or the guys who want to make top 4. Who does it mean more to? I think that's what this game will tell at the end of the day. Newcastle need every point they can get at the moment. So even if they draw, I think they're pretty much happy with that. Newcastle, West Ham as well, the same situation. Any point they can get, they'll be happy with it because they're trying to make Champions League for the first time. I don't think if they don't make it, I don't think they'll be that gutted. I mean, they've had one hell of a season, but they're there, and I think they're probably telling themselves, look, we're in the spot, why not? There's no point like we're going to go for it now. They are going for it, it's not a secret now. They are going for it. They're there.
That's a valid point, Wonga. That's a valid point because say now they're in the driving seat if we're looking at the log right now. And driving seat is hardly, it's not a firm driving seat, but they're there at the steering wheel, let's put it that way. But say they do miss out at the end of the season, how much do you think that's going to impact this side moving into the next season? Because that's a huge deflation. Here they're on this rise, and they're riding it. If they miss out, even though finishing 5th, 6th will still be great for them, for the players themselves, they might be looking elsewhere. They're going, we're that close to getting a Champions League club. And now maybe the clubs that are going to play Champions League go, well, they were good enough to get them in that position. Maybe they'll be good enough to play in our squad. So some potential headaches for West Ham. I don't know.
But even like,
who do you think from the West Ham team ideally will be pushing for a move away from West Ham? I think you need to be honest as well as a player. Cool, your age, can say, okay, cool, maybe I'm 24, 23, whatever, and I need to move on. Thomas Suchek is gonna stay. He looks like the kind of guy who's gonna stay. That Sufal guy looks like he's gonna stay. Who else? Cresswell. I don't think a team. Which team needs a left back currently? You know what I mean? I think no team really needs a left back. Jesse.
Darren, just jump in, bro. You don't have to put your hand up. Just jump in, my friend. Just go.
What's up?
No, I wasn't going to speak. I just said that we do, yeah.
Oh yeah, you guys do need a left back. You're all right. You know. So I think yes, money can play a factor, but also I think West Ham going directly into Europa League will give them some money. Will give their fans some European nights. A European night is still quite a prestigious thing, even though it's a Europa League. For a team that's historically outside the top 10 to be in a Europa League, that is amazing, man. I think they'll continue that into the next season, and then hopefully just continue to be in the top 10. Not be like a Wolves where you're in Europa, then following season you get out of Europa. So I think they'll want to continue being a Europa side. You know what I mean? Being a top 7 side. I think they want to. I think the signings that they make will also will also reflect that,
But I think there's 2 important factors there. Sorry, go ahead, Darren.
No, carry on. Sorry, I'll go after you.
Again, you're being too polite here. You got to take the airtime you can get because the guys here like talking. I'm gonna say, West Ham sort of thing is there's 2 scenarios. The first thing being they've been in this position before when they had Payet, and then Payet kicked the fuss and then landed up leaving, and then they moved to the Olympic Stadium. And then there's also that track record we like mentioning is their track record of buying players. We know they're not great at that. So more money comes more responsibility. Excuse the Spider-Man sort of pun, but it's the truth. And West Ham are terrible at managing that sort of side of the game. Also, Jason, good to see you, man. And he reckons that obviously West Ham are going to hammer the Toon Army. I think he's going to tell Nick that the whole week. Darren, what did you want to say, man?
Yeah, no, so just reiterating basically what Wonga said, it's a massive game for both clubs. I mean, on the one hand, obviously West Ham going for Champions League, I think it's going to be one step too far for them, and their run can't carry on forever, in my opinion. I know there's only 7 games left, but I think they will slip up. And I think, obviously, Newcastle are going to be going hammer and tongs to try and get a result. So yeah, I
thought West Ham had the hammer, bro. What's going on here? Are you telling me they're going to catch the hammer?
They also have it.
No. But yeah, really tough game. But I'm gonna sit on the fence with this one as well. 1-1 again, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, I think even if
guys, West Ham's first half performances. It's reminding me of Liverpool, the season where they missed out on the league, where they were scoring lots of goals in the first half, especially. It's West Ham last was it 3 goals per game. 9 goals in the last 3 games, and conceded 7. So they've been hot in front of goal, but obviously leaky in the defense. So I think that they are going to win this game. Sorry, Nick, if you're watching, and sorry if you're going to watch this a bit later. I think that your boy Rich is gonna win this game. Unfortunately.
But also let's look at it on paper, right? We know how Newcastle are going to set up. This is no secret. He's going to play his 5 at the back. That's what he's going to try and do. Try and neutralize whatever counter-attacking threat that they have in the Lingards and the other players that they possess currently. But the question is whether or not Saint Maximum decides to go, hey, I'm playing for Newcastle again and I'm enjoying myself, because that's a player who just enjoys playing every time he steps out onto the field, and he's making Bruce look good, which is the irony behind all of this. Wonga, Newcastle, West Ham. You haven't said anything yet. Have you been deep in thought, contemplating this? What's going on?
No,
he's still trying to do calculations of.
No.
Can I still catch West Ham? Can I still catch West Ham?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yes, but West Ham. No, think about this season. But I did say the comments. I mean, like Darren said, I did speak about what I think about them. But I mean, I'm just looking at it like it was. Just listening to what you said, Claudio, in terms of comparing West Ham to like a Liverpool season, and then as well, I also think the same thing as well. Remember when Liverpool, in terms of it being like a high and a low. So like we know when Liverpool won it. I mean, before Liverpool won their league, they missed it. Steven Gerrard's slip, we all know that. They just missed it at the end, that title. And even West Ham now, it just depends. I mean, now if let's say they don't make it.
How are you guys comparing Liverpool pushing for the league title and West Ham qualifying for top 4? I think this is the problem with Arsenal. I think the perception. This is the problem with Arsenal. You guys are comparing the wrong things here. You think Europa's Champions League. I don't know what's going on here. What's going on?
No, you see,
I'm not understanding here.
In terms of the next season, they finish.
Yeah.
Like what happened is they finished. Isn't it now? The next season, you guys went on and you finished. It could have deflated you. You know what I mean? You're right there. You're right there, and that's the thing as West Ham as well. Now they're right here, and that's a good question to ask: is if they don't make it, will it deflate them? Will it motivate them to go through? Because if you think about it as well, I don't think David Moyes approached the season, beginning of the season, especially even if I like him, and also I'll go back to Ranieri with Leicester. I don't think beginning of the season they're like, Oaks, we're going to win this. Or we're going to get top 4. I think
that's never his goal, David Moyes.
They literally took it game by game, and they see how the season's going, and now they find themselves here, and now they're going to go for it. That's how it is. And I think the motivation at this point. I mean, this Lingard. I actually just forgot about him now, but now I just remembered Lingard, and I agree with Jason.
How can you forget about a player that Real Madrid are looking at and Inter are looking at? Hey, Celo, that are on United's books. I mean, when have you ever heard of that? I mean, the last time I think Real Madrid wanted to play from United was David Beckham. I mean, come on.
No, but going back to Claudio's points about comparing West Ham and Liverpool's seasons in that regard. So I think West Ham coming 4th is probably the equivalent of Liverpool winning the league in terms of like the size of the club and the stature. I don't think anyone in their wildest dreams would imagine West Ham winning the Premier League. Let's be honest. As much as I know, there's obviously West Ham.
So you don't dream, Darren. You don't dream.
No, of course. It's tough. I don't know.
So are you telling me that West Ham need to get the bus for the parade if they finish in the top 4? Because that's what it sounds to me. I mean, I feel like if there were West Ham fans watching this, just wait for Rich.
There needs to be some sort of a celebration to get in top 4 for them, guys. Arsenal have been doing it. Arsenal have been doing it.
What, celebrating it?
When did we celebrate?
Yeah, Arsenal did celebrate
Buzz.
top 4.
That was
Top
always
four.
the one-liner. Yeah, but we qualify for Champions League
Qualify for
every
Champions
season.
League. Yeah, that was Arsenal's trophy, is to qualify for Champions League. Like the last
Fair point.
4 or 5 years of Wenger's reign was to qualify for Champions League, and he maintained that standard. And then after he left, that standard was gone. So you know what I mean. So
it's a great
When last did
segue,
Arsenal
Selo.
qualify?
Great segue.
I don't know when
Yeah,
when was the
I
last
can't
time Arsenal was in Champions League. I think
Gee.
when Van Persie was there.
The last time they did not
Yeah.
qualify for any European competition was 93, 94. I think so. That's 26 years ago. So they're in danger of.
No, but
of
last time they
facing
didn't qualify for
that
Champions League was when Van Persie was there.
Shit, so it's been a while. Then you
Took
guys
the
have gotten
goals.
used to. Right, Arsenal, Fulham, Wonga
Liverpool
Denga.
in
Of course he does. He lives for the day. Leeds live the. Hey, your
You'll be
boy
living a
Dean is-
long time.
Your man
AJ.
Dean is not letting you not letting you go easily, eh?
Aaron's
But I
going to
think-
get the
Dean,
Neuralink
Dean.
put in his mind,
Fi-
so his subconscious can be put onto the chip, so he can see Leeds win the league title one day in like
Five
1,000
more
years.
years. 5 more years. We will
Five.
be that trade.
Jeez.
Yeah.
But you don't even know if Bielsa's going to be the end of the
That's what
season.
Teto's plan.
Yeah, look. If Bielsa leaves, it's this squad that we've got would probably be in a relegation scrap if we didn't have Bielsa. Just those are the facts for me. So yeah, he has to stay for as long as possible for us to be able to become a big club in the Premier League. But yeah,
I agree.
let's see how it goes.
Wonga, we're giving you airtime now. Arsenal, Fulham. I mean, Fulham are fighting relegation. If Fulham don't get this result, I think it's, despite whether or not what happens in the Newcastle West Ham game, I think it's tickets here for Fulham. So, I mean, you were talking about formalities with regards to Sheffield. Is this a formality for Arsenal, or can Scotty Parker do something here?
Look, it's not. Yeah, look, Fulham have been. They've shown. I mean, that they've got something in them. And so have Arsenal, but I mean, it's they're not showing it all the time, and it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be what we got beginning of the first opening game of the season, where we cleaned them up and had high hopes. And the season actually just told the real story.
Yeah.
But look,
my brother's an Arsenal fan. My brother's an Arsenal fan, and when you guys beat Fulham on the first game, he was like, "Yeah, we're winning the league." Yeah. So.
Oh damn!
Yeah,
Little did they know.
Yeah.
Thomas Partey, hey Pumlani, look, I think he's a good player, man. I think there's only so much the guy can do. There's only so much he can do, really.
He's a good player.
Yeah, but he's a good player. He's not gonna score us goals. I mean, he's hardly put his shots on target. I saw he scored some good goals for Atletico, but yet to see at Arsenal. But I think in terms of what he was brought in for, I think he's doing the job there. When he does play, he's finding the passes very well, turning that defense to attack in seconds.
He's also been hampered by injuries, Shame.
No,
yeah,
true.
that's
true.
Yeah, but and I think now they're managing it better now, because I think they were in this desperation to play this guy on the field. But for me, I was like, why? Look, we're not gonna, like, the games we were playing. I think we could have played other guys in those positions. There was Alnenia and them. Let them play. Rest Partey. It's not like we're fighting to win the league there, you know. I mean, Alnenia and them could have done that job. Rest the player you bought, and I think they're doing that much better now. I think he's been able to play a couple of games now without any injuries. They've managed that. I think what I would like to see Martinelli start. The guy came. He start against Sheffield, and he ended up scoring. Remember when Martinelli actually?
But he picked up a bit of an injury there, man. Yes, he didn't come off, but you need to.
But he's got
protect
problems
him.
with that one, eh? He's got so much potential, but he's got too many injuries. How's this happening? Are they rushing him back, or what's going on there?
But look, now I also thought that in the beginning I thought they're rushing him back, but now he hasn't played for a couple of games now. You can see they've also taken a cautious approach to him as well. Because I've even been saying, like, play the guy, and he hasn't played. And I think that was like 3 games running, and now they played him, and then now he's injured again. It's quite frustrating. I would like him to be fit. I mean, beginning of the season, you'd think he was on a not beginning of the season. I mean, when he started playing, I mean, he was scoring every game, showing. I mean, teams Chelsea fire. But now he's not. I mean, again, we are. If I look at it properly, I mean, we are 10th. So in the league, I don't think it's as much of a thing for him to really be. It's not like a desperation for him to be playing, in the league matches. But yeah, I think in the future, I think one player I'd like to see play more is him, because he plays on. You put him on the field.
All right, so that's far down the future. That's far down the future. But this game against Fulham.
Look, we've got everyone's fit. Odegaard's not there, but everyone is fit, and I think we can do the job. We've got the players, but like I've said before, and I want us to. But Arsenal sometimes. So. And the thing is, Fulham.
Well, Darren needs to win the league title. It's not going to happen anytime soon. Maybe 5-year plan, but not this season.
We should win. No, we should win. It's a must-win for Arsenal. As much as it is a must-win for Fulham, it's a must-win for Arsenal, especially after all the other games. There's this frustration. Everyone's saying that no, the Arsenal players are not playing according to Arteta's way. But I mean, if your players are always losing, like, is it not your way? Like Steve Bruce, if he's always losing, is it not your way? Is it not Steve Bruce's way of playing? So I don't know why we being more lenient on Arteta when we say it's like, no, that's not what Arteta wanted him to do.
When you talk about Arteta, actually, there's always this running commentary that I hear. They ask the question, if Arteta got fired, which other team in the Premier League would take him? If Solskjaer got fired, which other team in the Premier League would take him? Okay, Lampard's already fired. Which other team would take Lampard?
They're talking about Crystal Palace right now.
Yeah, I know. I heard about Palace. I heard about the Palace thing earlier on today. But now, Arteta, if he were to get fired, who would take him in the Premier League?
Championship.
In the Premier League.
Newcastle.
Yeah.
Would Newcastle not take him?
Yeah, it's Newcastle, but I mean, I don't think, realistically speaking, I don't think any team takes him.
So Wonga, are you Arteta out there, no?
No, not Arteta out. What I'm saying is, as much as it is the players' fault, I think it's also a part of him to blame. Because the players don't play. I mean, look, Pep Guardiola comes into a team. I get it, man.
Man. You see, Wonga, this is what I'm talking about. The world, the universe in which you are looking at, and the real world, they're two different things here, man.
Okay. Let me read
you think your side is on Mars when we're still on Earth here, bro? You can't compare Pep Arteta. You can't compare Arsenal and City. The structures are different. The managers have different reputations. Arteta's doing his best with what he has. The pockets are different. Arteta's got a job here that he has to make work. He can't afford to lose the job. And you guys have just posed the question. You've literally just said, if he loses this job, who's taking him? He has to make this work. And if he has to make it work, he has to keep the players very happy. He has to keep the guys above him very happy. And when you start making everyone very happy, you become a yes man. And when you become a yes man, you lose conviction, and getting conviction is needed to get results on the pitch. And that's the bottom line. That's my bottom line.
But for me, it's still, I'm still at the fact that you can't just say, players. Look, you are the coach, bro. You are the coach. And you've got to get them to play, especially if you felt that you should have won that game. I think both of you guys are to blame. I mean,
but look at Klopp. When Klopp came in, Klopp took over the squad. He had a yo-yo season. Look, he didn't land up coming 10th.
You just said we can't compare the two guys.
I'm just saying.
You can compare that Liverpool squad to this.
I'm saying squad. I'm saying players.
Or even the squad, or even the first season of Klopp's squad. You can compare.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Players, a manager working with players he didn't want. Yeah.
Brendan Rodgers' squad before.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, but he was working with players in his eyes that were limited, and even he only had so much of an impact, is what I'm saying, in his first season.
Mm-hmm.
We were guns blazing. There were differences. Guys were playing for him. Obviously, he had more of an impact than what Arteta's having because it's Jurgen Klopp. That's the comparison we probably shouldn't make. But at the end of the day, the results didn't come the way exactly that we all were hoping for. And that's just the fact. So one of those things, Arsenal, he needs time. Arteta, of course, he needs time. But it's not going to get better, largely because the club's in a shambles. And like we all said, tonight's game against Slavia Park. Wonga, are you serious right now? Do you guys?
I'm asking.
Yeah.
You don't know how the club's in the shambles.
Arsenal
How can you
shouldn't
say
get
we-
They're
paid.
signing a player in his 30s. They're giving him a long-term contract, most expensive player. He decides he's sick on the weekend. He doesn't play. There's issues where the players are having too much of a say. The coach isn't having too much of a say. You've got technical directors that have been changing in and out for the last 3-4 seasons. There's no strategy. Who are they buying? They spent 72 million pounds on a player because of an ex-Barcelona director that came in. Someone else has come in. That director had 2 assistants. You have the manager jumping, who's saying good evening, who is like speaking Spanish. The Poik also didn't get a run. The fans are turning on the coaches. Arsenal are not in a good way. And Darren said this earlier. He said this earlier. If they do not get into Europe this season, if they do not get in, the slip is a very possible one because the slide is slippery. And look at Newcastle. Nick loves talking about Newcastle's previous Champions League sort of exploits. Look at Leeds. Now the problem with Arsenal is Arsenal have had in that early Premier League season where broadcasting was a big thing. Fortunately for them, they've still got the brand equity to carry them for X amount of time, like Man United have had, despite the last few seasons. That's the difference now when we're looking at it eye for eye or comparison. I don't even know what the correct term is there, but that's the difference. But at the end of the day, it is a worrying time because you're not going to be able to get the players that the manager needs to turn this around, and then everyone's going to blame the manager.
Because you need to attract new players, you need to have something. It's either the manager attracts the players or the competition that you guys are competing in, which is Champions League, or the project. So and then obviously there's money. So Arsenal can try sell project, right? Because at least Arsenal is it's in a nice city. It's in the city of London. It's a big club. You know, they can still that aura of the club. You know what I mean? Especially even to like French players as well. French players do like Arsenal and so on in the past. You can still sell that, but that at some point in time will end. And it will end because you guys are not competitive. So, and right now being 9th in the log, it's not a good place to be in. Cool. You managed to get Thomas Partey because you met his release clause, but ideally that guy should have obviously stayed at Atletico But
Atletico wanted him gone as well. He had nowhere else to go. No one else was going to pay them. And that's why he ended up in Arsenal. And because of London.
Release clause.
Yeah, that's it. But also like one key highlight to obviously they're ninth. They're ninth in the log. Now, when we're talking the traditional top 4 teams or the biggish teams, when last did a team finish that low? I know we've all had Liverpool have been one that ups and downs, right?
7th.
But 7th, but 9th.
7th, 6th, 7th.
You're mid-table, and if these next results do not go their way, the season's not over. I mean,
it's not over, but yeah.
7 games longer. You need to turn it around. We need a strong Arsenal.
Yeah, that's exactly what I've been saying. Like they have to turn it. It's a must win. You know, but all I'm saying is that you can't. You need to. I get you frustrated as a manager. Tete saying the guys didn't do this once, but it's his job. If we must take it through.
So Arsenal's run-in is Fulham, Everton, Newcastle, West Brom, Chelsea, Palace, Brighton. So they've got 3 relegation teams in their last 7 games. So those actually 4. If you want to include West Brom as a relegation team, because we think that they've got 4.
West Brom are winning now.
4 relegation. Yeah, 4 relegation teams, and then they've got obviously a top 4 team in Chelsea, and then Everton obviously is a team that competing for top 7 with them. And then only Palace is the club that they play that they've got nothing to play for.
No, it'll always be difficult, and I think I don't want to keep on the Arsenal thing for too long, but I mean, like if you've seen, even it's the one thing I haven't liked in a while, but it's obviously what it is. It's still there. Arsenal have always been this side. Even when Bruno got there, he's always said it. He's always said it. And he knows that Arsenal, everyone says Arsenal's a soft side, and it was there even when Wenger was there. After your, and I mean, I think that was only due to the players. I mean, after we had Patrick Vieira leave, and Gilberto
You guys
Silva,
had
all those
Tony
guys.
Adams before
Ray
Wenger got like a full hold. Yeah.
Ray Parler. You know,
That's some
they
big
had
names
that
there.
So,
They were
some
massive, eh? Yo.
physical
yeah,
men,
so
bro.
yeah, but now what all they knew is that all you had to do with Arsenal was make a game physical. You'd frustrate the guys because they're soft, and that has been going on for about you could say 10 years now. It's been there with the old manager, and it's still coming on now. But now it's something we don't need to have. Even now, like when a team like West Brom come to Arsenal, they'll be like, Samuel Allardyce, he's been there for a while. He's played Arsenal before. He'll know that hey, this team.
But
one thing that's
you've
still
mentioned,
there.
but you've mentioned it though, Wonga. You've
soft.
mentioned it. It's been going for how long? It's been going for 10 years. Now it's become.
Wenger's was there.
Yeah. But that's what I'm
Wenger's been
saying.
there, yeah.
What I'm saying
that's
is
what I'm
it's
saying.
become a cultural legacy now, and that's an issue to
How do you
move
get rid
out.
of that?
How do you get rid of that? You get a strong man in. Like I said to you, the conditions aren't there for Arteta to do that. He can't do that. He can't be the guy that he would like to possibly be. We don't know what kind of guy he'd like to be, but we're not seeing the full Arteta here. Because Arteta can't be kicking boots at players' heads. He can't be. Look, I don't think he can do that in the modern game anyway, like Ferguson used to. But you can't do that.
He said Arteta's words were, what the next 4 years was it? He wants to win the Champions League. That's what he said.
Win it.
So
you need to qualify to win the
I get what you're saying, and I get what you're saying, but this is the manager that we have in our club. With all those things you guys have mentioned behind, the manager in the club has said.
No. But also, when was it said?
It
was said at the beginning. It was said at the beginning.
Yes.
It was also so we don't know what was promised to him.
William.
We don't know what was promised to him,
Yeah.
and also he's saying something that the fans want to hear because now he's trying to get the fans on side. Yeah. And he's given himself 4 years because realistically, if he can't make any progress within the first 2 years, why would he stay there? You know, so why not go out and say that and try and get the fans on side? Unfortunately, it's not panning out that way. But a lot of we can talk about this topic for a long time. Next game, Man United, Burnley. Hello.
Burnley are a funny one.
Man, guys.
Sean Dyche.
Burnley. I think Sean Dyche, yes. I think they've been brought into the relegation battle, which now makes them even more dangerous than what they were. Previously, you would have just said, okay, cool, Burnley are safe, whatever, let's just beat them, whatever. But now they actually need to get a point, need to get 3 points. They need to fight for their survival until they're guaranteed. So I think currently it's a tough game. Man United at home has been struggling. I was going to share something in the group, but I was like, no, let me rather save it for the show. Apparently, some players have said that it's a bit difficult when playing at home with the red shirts, the red shirts, right? So it's a bit difficult to locate your teammates because they're saying apparently, and also I've heard Liverpool players saying the same thing as well about Anfield, is that the way the ground is, right, and the way the stands are, and when they put this covering of these fake whatevers, and when you're trying to pass a player, you can't see because
can you guys see me?
No, because you're not on the field, brother. So they get apparently that's what apparently it's been said by Liverpool. I think it was some earlier on in the season, and Man United as well. So you would have seen. So I didn't notice this, but against Brighton, what happened was they changed the banners that say, for instance, that say no to racism. So it used to be red, and now it's black. Against Brighton. So against Brighton, they changed it because apparently, and I thought about it, and I was like, this is crazy. Like, who says such things? You know what I mean? But until I watched the show yesterday, where the one guy said that because of the level at which the pitch is in relation to the stands, you can actually understand it. And there was once they showed on Twitter, they showed a video where there was like a Santa Claus thing a couple years back in a Bayern game, and then Thiago Alcantara passed the ball to Santa Claus. It was like an electric board where Santa was just moving like this, and he was wearing a red shirt, and he passed the ball to Santa because he thought it was his teammate. I was like, oh, flip. Okay, so these guys, it seems like they do have like these problems and crazy
Because
as it is. But
so if you think about it, it's like everything is it's like at that level. If you play soccer for that long, I mean, everything, all the decisions you're making is just like driving. It's all automated. So if
Yeah.
you got something now, it was never there before. You had the fans there, whatever, other people. Now you got something that's solid color, not moving. I can understand how that distracts them because you're not like they don't look up and look at the guy like this for long and then make a decision. Everything is literally
it's
almost
quick,
their
yeah.
bodies
You
are
have to
in
play quickly,
their
yeah.
bodies are like an autopilot. It's just playing and responding to what they see. So
So now
that can make a difference.
now maybe they have to hold
can.
on to the ball a bit more longer to make sure that they're seeing the right
True.
person.
Yeah, 100%. I can understand
What do you think?
that.
What do you think, Claudia, about Liverpool also apparently struggling with that?
Obviously, Liverpool had it the whole season. They haven't changed it yet.
I haven't seen them change it.
The Arsenal man has found his voice, people. He has found his voice. It's taken him, what, I think you're on your 58th, 49th cap, Wonga. You guys, by the way, they're 50th. If you guys do not, if everyone watching does not come back on Tuesday, both Selo and Wonga will be making their 50th appearance. Darren is on his second one. Congrats, Darren. Let's give him a little round of applause. Well done. You got a long way to go. You got a long way. You're on a show with experienced campaigners. But I think there is some plausibility. I also think it could be an excuse for some players. But obviously,
Dean coming with his rubbish comments here.
I agree with Dean. Actually, I mean, Pogba with his yellow hair, they can't complain about. You just can't find Pogba because he's not playing. I think that's the issue. It's not the hairstyle. But I do think in your periphery vision, it can influence that. Like if you're only seeing red and if you're bombing up and down the wing, you might miss it a pass or two. But overall, Selo, Burnley, Man United, what do you think is going to happen here in terms of the results? Do you think
I think we'll beat Burnley, but I think it'll be tough. It won't be easy at all. It'll be tough. Sean Dyche it's never easy to beat him, and I think just because of the position that they are, it'll be a tricky game. 1 goal in it, I feel. 2-1, 1-0 type of situation. I would like a clean sheet. I'd like a 1-0 rather than 2-1, because clean sheets we have been scarce for Man United. So Burnley is a tricky game, always a tricky game. As Sky said, they're such a rubbish team. We don't like to watch them. You know what I mean? They play long balls and everything. You know what I mean? They play
listen, against Newcastle, they were the flamboyant side.
They
so
were
I don't know what that
they were
says
playing. But it's Steve Bruce. Steve Bruce allowed them to play. You know what I mean? They were touching the ball.
True.
They're playing some nice football. But I think that's just Newcastle. Anyone can play good football against Newcastle. But yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. But
I agree with Pumlani. I honestly think Burnley need to go down now because
they've had their fun in the sun.
Yeah, it's like they're not for me. They're not a Premier League side. They've ridden the wave for 5 years now, but it's time to go.
Every single Burnley fan out there, if one ever watches the show, please talk to your manager. Either change what you guys are doing and just slip out of the league. No one enjoys it. No one likes it except for you guys. Please sort this out.
Those guys. There was a time when Burnley they didn't even have a player that was born outside the UK and Northern and Ireland. They had only British and Irish players in their team.
Yeah,
like how are you supposed to be
in the Premier League?
How are you supposed to become a better team if you just got British and Irish players only? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously now they've got Matej, Vedra, and Goodmanson, but you know what I mean. You need to switch it up a bit. You know what I mean. You need to add a bit of flavor, add a bit of different tactics. You know what I mean. Try and get players who like to be on the ball. I don't even know who plays centre mid for Burnley. That's how bad it is. I just know that there's two big strikers, Wood and Barnes, and Tarkowski the centre back. That's all I know.
That Westwood's not too bad either. He's a centre mid for them.
Yeah. Okay, Westwood's not too bad. I know. One of the other guys plays for England under 21s. Charlie McNeil, I think it is, right?
Yeah.
Charlie McNeil. Yeah.
Right. So one word answer. Who is Man United's number one keeper? One word answer, and then we're gonna move on.
Right now or for next season?
I don't know. Pumulani's asking right now. I'm assuming United's number one keeper.
Yo, right now it's Dean Henderson, but for me, it should be David De Gea. But yeah, what can we say? The guy went to go see the birth of his child, and he's lost his place because of it, which is rubbish.
Yeah,
incredible.
Yeah, but we know what Ollie thinks about children and sons. You know, he came out with that saying he doesn't want to feed his sons, and then suddenly let's say he got fed. You know, he doesn't give a shit about family.
Man.
Dean.
Ole.
Okay. Dean Henderson. Ish, number one there. Okay.
Dean Henderson.
The big game here for the man that we've got on
For the
show.
weekend. For the weekend.
For Darren,
What's the big game for the weekend?
It's Monday.
Game
It's
of the
actually
weekend.
happening on the Monday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
still. Monday's a weekend now. Eh?
Yeah, I suppose that's true. Darren, I mean, you've waited a long time to have your say here. Let's hear it.
Yeah, so I listened to Bielsa's press conference today. So unfortunately, it looks like Rafinha is probably going to be out, which is a massive blow for us.
Man.
Yeah, he got stomped on by Sterling, which was also a joke. He should have also been sent off. Never mind Cooper's red card, but anyway, but yeah, so Rafinha is apparently still struggling with a knock. He might make it, but by the sounds of things, it's not looking too positive. But on the one hand, Costa came in for Harrison against City, and I thought he did pretty well. He's been on the fringes obviously since Rafinha came in, and Costa obviously took the back seat, and he was ready. His form wasn't great, but I saw a little bit of something from Costa on Saturday. I think he's playing to try and keep his position at Leeds, not in the starting lineup, but just to stay there as a whole, because there's talk of him moving on next season if he doesn't pull finger. So what will happen is Harrison will come back. Harrison will come back on the left wing. I think Costa will move over to the right wing. And yeah, then it's obviously Cooper's out for 3 games with a red card, but that should mean that Robin Koch or Pascal Struijk will come in. I'm not too sure out of those two, but both for me, I reckon Pascal Struijk's he's gonna be world class one day. I read a stat the other day. Out of the 7 games he started, or 8 games he started, we won 5, and we concede 70% less goals than what we normally do if he doesn't play. And he's like
he's a good player.
He's a youngster.
He's been in my fantasy. He's been in my fantasy team for quite a while.
Oh, is it? Yeah, no, he's a quality player. But so at the same time, Robin Koch is a German international, so you can never write that type of quality off. But yeah, so those are the 2 players that'll probably come in for the Liverpool game in comparison to the City game. And yeah, you're not going to see anything different from Leeds. Obviously, we've got 11 men on the field this time, to start with at least. So we're not going to be parking the bus as we did in the second half against City. So yeah, it's going to be a very interesting game. I see goals again. Look, I think the first game of the season, I don't know about you, Claudio, but I mean, it's the first time everyone saw Leeds, and I knew we were going to give Liverpool a game, but I never saw that happening. That was something else, that game. I think my heart was racing from minute 1 to minute 93. But yeah, it was a great game, and I don't see it being too different. Hopefully, defense on both sides can be a bit better, because the defense on both sides in the first game was poor. I don't know if you remember, but Van Dijk gave away that goal, that Bamford.
I think we in for more of the same on Monday. To be honest.
Yeah, actually, to be fair, that's what I said to you earlier. So the Real Madrid game, last night, your defense looked shaky, and that's a positive for Leeds, obviously, because going forward, we are quite strong. But as everyone knows, Leeds' defense, I don't think our defense is as bad as everyone makes it out to be. But we do have our frailties, especially from set pieces. Set pieces is a real problem that we need to sort out. But yeah, it's going to be a great game, and I see what Dean says, 3-3. I said on Tuesday I'll take a draw, but I'm rescinding my comment that I said on Tuesday that I'm only 40% for a win. I would say, especially now that Liverpool lost yesterday, you had all your big guns playing. I think they're going to be a bit out of steam. So I think I'm up to about a 60. 60. I think we can take it. So
you know, Darren, I just want to tell you something. I know Leeds. Look, guys, I do want to say something. I know Leeds play in white, but they're not Madrid, so they need to take it easy. All right, Darren.
We'll chat on Tuesday.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely
Monday.
chat on Tuesday. I mean, dude, you're welcome to come back on the show on Tuesday again. We're gonna have this chat again. I think Jared, Dean has said it. Dean has said it. You know, the goals that he scored.
This needs to happen. This needs to happen. We need to see what's happening. We need to see who comes out victorious.
No, I think, look, there's only one side. There's only one side. I mean, must I read that stupid headline for you again? Liverpool must focus on Premier League top 4 battle after Champions League exit against Real Madrid. I mean, if you're putting out if that's the shit that people are reading, I mean, you think the players don't know this already? You know, Mohamed Salah, he could have scored 3 in the Champions League. He didn't. So he's going to be licking his lips. I mean, thank goodness it's Leeds. He will be. I'm telling you, because it's Leeds. Leeds. We know that both teams are going to concede goals. We know this. But it's going to be an entertaining game. It's going to be end-to-end. I don't see Bielsa doing what Nick always says he should be doing, is, you know, shutting up shop. That's not going to happen. So there will definitely be goals. And if there are going to be goals, Jota's going to get on the score sheet. Salah's going to get on the score sheet. I think right now, I think Mane can't do shit right now. The guy's got the biggest mental block. Yeah, he's like... I don't know. I was going to say Picasso failing to produce an artwork. He's just got a mental block.
Last time Leeds beat Liverpool at Ellen Road was Mark Viduka scoring 4 goals. We beat you 4-3. So hopefully it's a good omen. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Look,
what a legend.
Yeah, look. And also one important fact. I think Pumalani says this, and he says this correctly. The new centre-back pairing, the partnership is growing in confidence, and the partnership pairing between the two has been the most consecutive run in the season that Liverpool have had. So it's been the combination played the most officially now this season.
No,
so
good.
Good. Yeah, so that gives us something to look forward to.
Yeah.
One of them's going to get injured, bro. The way Liverpool season's going. One of them is going to get
Don't wish bad things upon them, man.
Can I just say this?
I know the way things going.
The sooner these 7 games finish, the better it is for all of us Liverpool fans. The season must end now. We're over it. We need a preseason. The only shit thing about this whole season ending is the Euros coming. That's the crap thing.
Yeah.
And apparently the Netherlands are trying to lure Van Dijk back in there to play in this tournament.
Yeah. He's their captain.
Okay.
I'll tell you what.
Wheelchair.
I'm not looking forward to the season ending, because I know you guys might laugh at me, but I honestly think, I know we've got 2 tough games coming up, but I think we've still got an outside shot of Europa, to be honest.
No, you do.
So
you do.
No, it's true. Yeah, you do.
Yeah. You do. You're the same points as Arsenal, same amount of games, so you do have a shot.
Bielsa's 100% trying to counter
Arsenal's saying. That's what Arsenal's saying. You definitely have a chance. Bonga's got it. He's like, no, Arsenal got it.
He's like, yeah, you have a chance. Let me
of course you got a chance. Of course, man. It's not even a crazy idea. It's realistic. Yeah.
Because if Leeds are out, then Arsenal's out. So, yeah.
True.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how the season pans out. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Are you also not hoping that he does manage that as an incentive for him to stay next season, Bielsa?
Yeah, I think I was actually saying this in the beginning of the season, because, like I said to you on Tuesday, he keeps signing these 1-year rolling contracts, and it's leaving Leeds culpable a little bit, because, I mean, if he just decides to get up and duck one day, we left in a bit of trouble, because I don't think that any manager can just come in and play the strings like he's been doing the last 3 years. So I think, yes, and at the beginning of the season, I was saying, I mean, if we had to sneak into a Europa League spot, because Champions League is way too unrealistic, but even because we can sneak into one of those conference spots, I mean, if Man City ends up winning, if the top 4 win the FA Cup or Carabao Cup, it opens up more spaces down the table. So
it does.
So the thing is, I always said, I think if we get into Europa, he's definitely staying. Then I'd say 110%. If not, Leeds have sold everyone this project. So we're chatting about that. You mentioned the project earlier, Claudio. So Rafinha would never have come to Leeds. You must remember, he would have been playing Champions League for Rennes this season. He left Rennes in the Champions League to come play for Leeds. And but before you make that like a bigger statement, before you Premier League,
Ren in
No,
France. I mean, the amount that he's getting paid,
no,
and
but
also the
Champions
exposure he's
League.
getting.
Champions
But
League.
he's getting but Champions. How long did they last in the tournament? Champions League. The guy hedged his bets. Yeah,
No,
hedged his
but
bets.
still,
Premier League.
Yeah.
But
No,
anyway,
but
sorry.
he-
Let me not pour salt on the sort of where you're going with your analogy or the hopes.
He must have been sold a project. So they couldn't have said to him, "Listen, your first season here at Leeds," because you were saying that Rafinha probably won't be here next season, and I'm very worried at that possibility. But the thing is, he wouldn't have just come for one season, and then they wouldn't have said to him, "We're making Europe this season." I mean, if the bosses or the guys at the top were saying that, I mean, just I want some of what they're smoking. To be honest, like I love the way we play and things like that, but it's unrealistic. To be honest.
But it is interesting. It is interesting from a strategic point of view as a manager, where you've done so well with the team. You're not going to sign. I mean, look, a lot of guys are going to sign in 3, 4, however long they can get because they're going to get paid out. But in this way, he's almost keeping that like hot girl on the chain a little bit, going, I'm still here, and I'm only going to make my decision at the end. Definitely a man with commitment issues. I'm not going to say no to that. He's definitely got commitment issues, but now he's kind of got power in the decision that he makes.
Yeah, and he also said he made a good point as well when they started this whole contract talk about 2 months ago. He made a point. He said, "Why must I sign a 2-year contract now? Where what if we do terribly from now till the end of the season? Then the board might not want to keep me. They will want to keep him. I know they will. But he makes a good point. He's just doing it from a moral high ground point of view, in my opinion. I think he wants the best for the club, and he doesn't want.
True.
He wants, because he does. He loves Leeds. I mean, I don't know if you guys watched the Amazon documentary. It was on DSTV of Take Us Home Leeds United, about the whole promotion season and season before that. He's a god in Leeds. They've made murals out of on the buildings of him and all types of things. So he's a god in Leeds, and I mean, the fans talk about having a funeral when he leaves. That's how much they were. That's how much they worship the guy. So he's basically got us eating out of his hands. Whatever he wants, he gets, type of thing, in my opinion. But yeah, we'll have to see how that pans out.
Fair enough, gentlemen. Pretty much wraps up the show for today. Final thoughts?
Now, all the best to Arsenal.
I think it's going to be interesting. Look, obviously, it's not a full round of fixtures because of the FA Cup. I'm correct in saying that, eh?
Yeah, they're gonna play. They're gonna play midweek next week. The others, yeah.
Yeah. So look, the games that are being played, there's some big games there, like the West Ham Newcastle. That's a big game for both teams, either side of the table. Arsenal obviously need to beat Fulham to keep their European hopes alive, as well as obviously their Europa tonight. Have they kicked off yet, by the way, Arsenal?
Yes,
they just started now. Yeah.
And yeah, so those are two big games. Fulham's got to win to try and stay alive, and then obviously the game at the end, the game of the weekend, as we said earlier. So let's see how.
Goals.
Wait for that one.
That's what we're gonna see there.
Yeah,
I don't think Firmino will be in them, but there'll be goals.
Firmino's going to score now, just because you said that. And Scotty Parker's going to get 3 points over Arsenal. Yeah, come on, cottages. Yes, man. Silo, final thoughts from your end.
No, I just said, all the best to Arsenal. Yeah, that's all I've got to say. All the best to Arsenal.
There's no respect to what this guy's saying, bro.
Shame, man. It's pure pity now. It's bad when your club's at that stage, when rivals.
No, man. We need two English teams in the semis, man, to match the Champions League side to the two Champions League. Come on, man.
Yeah.
No, but we'll take it. We'll take it unless something bizarre happens.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, guys. That's pretty much the show. Thank you for joining us, everybody who did make it today. We appreciate it, and we'll see you guys on Tuesday. Enjoy the football, and Selo, Wonga, and Darren. We'll chat on Tuesday, my friend. We'll chat on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys.
100%. Cheers, guys. Cheers, Dean.
Bye.
Cheers.